Hello pilots and ground crew, welcome back to my channel again. In one of my previous videos I showed you a new FPV antenna I'd got by LUMENIER, the AX11 or 11 or 2, whichever way you want to pronounce it. But it was good. I put it on my psychedelic, if you remember. Well, it came with the MMCX connector, which I showed you, which is like the plug, where you just plug it in and it stays in place. Well, I've got another one today for a different type of quad, but I bought the TBS VTX Pro, which has a U.FL connector on. So the new antenna I bought has the U.FL connector on. Now, if you're a new pilot, all that's gone right over your head, all them different terms, MCC and MMA and all like that. That's why this is really just for new pilots, so I can show you. If you've got a VTX, a video transmitter, that's got an antenna on with a little push wire, shall we say, plug, with a bit of glue around it. I'm just going to show you how you can swap them out basically, and just show you the difference between the MMCX, which I put on that quad, and the U.FL. So this is really for new pilots who might want to swap the antenna out, but they think, oh, that one's sort of like connected on and it's got glue round and it's this and that, and nightmare. But it's easy to do. So basically, we'll just jump down to the table and show you the new bits I've got and how to connect up a new antenna to an older VTX that's got that sort of, if you want a better FPV antenna on. Okay then, I hope you got the gist of that. It sounded right in the back of my head. So let's just have a look at what we've got anyhow, and like I said, this is really for new pilots who don't know how to swap over an FPV antenna that's connected to the VTX, because obviously if it's just a screw in, you remember, can't get my words out here, if it just screws into SMA or RP SMA or whatever, well, that's a piece of pee. But this way is a little bit different, connecting directly to the VTX. But we'll go to the table and hopefully I'll explain it easier, because I know that sounded complicated, I heard that one. Right, to the table. Right then pilots, first of all, this is what I was talking about earlier with the MMCX connector. It's like a little plug that just plugs straight into your VTX or your flight control board, depending on what type of flight control board you've got. This is one of the older ones, what I was talking about before. Now on this connector, and yeah, this is another LUMENIER FPV antenna. And on this connector, if I can get into the bloody box, there you go, you'll see it's almost identical. In fact it is, it's an identical antenna to what I had on here, right? However, that antenna had one of them connectors on, right? Whereas this antenna has the U.FL connector. Now, am I going to be able to show you them up close? I hope you can see that. And as you see, if I turn them around slowly, right, they're completely different connectors. This one is more of a plug that plugs straight in. This one needs sealing in some way, whether it be a bit of hot glue, which is probably what I'll use, or you can get some special, like a liquid, what's it called, liquid paste, liquid glue, I can't remember the name of it now. But yeah, you push it on like you would your MMCX, but it won't hold in place, and that's why you put a blob of hot glue around it. And as for connecting it up and taking the old one off, this is TBS UNIFY Pro. Well, you'll see it in a minute. VTX I've got. I'm glad I brought scissors. Don't cut the wires. I once opened a packet of this and I went straight through the bleeding wires inside, and I said, flipping heck, that was a silly thing to do. or words to that effect. Right, I think that's everything. Oh, a bit of heat shrink, and well, I'll think for new pilots. What it's showing you here is your different bands, right, and your different channels. And as you follow the instructions, because the instructions are on the back, as in press button, hold the button for 2 seconds, press this, press that, right, and you change for your different bands and your different channels. That's what that is. So have a really good read of it, right, if you're a new pilot. Right, I'll just plonk this down. Yeah. We'll just forget this cable for a minute, because that's not what the video is about. It's about the new antenna. As you see, this flight control board, this VTX, comes with basically coax SMA connector, and you would screw your antenna straight into that, your FPV antenna. So if that's what you want to do, fine, just mount it on and screw your FPV antenna straight on, which is fine, it'll work great, no problems. However, if you want a lighter solution, and if you're going to upgrade to a better, because you might just have a cheap FPV antenna, which is nothing wrong with that. As you know, I use cheap ones as well as expensive ones, but yeah, you might have a cheap FPV antenna, so you want to get something better for a better signal, and they're a lot lighter because it's all in one. You don't have to connect everything, you don't have to connect your FPV antenna onto it. Right, now this has got a piece of heat shrink around it. The tools you'll need I nearly said a Stanley knife. Well, yeah, you could use a Stanley knife, some sort of modelling knife, and some sort of tweezers. I've got hemostats here because I use them all the bloody time. And right, here's your fun bit. What you need to do is, first of all, remove the heat shrink from the VTX carefully. You don't want to well, it's obvious what you don't want to do, so just remove it carefully. I've stopped talking because I'm concentrating, so just bear with me. Sing a song, do whatever you want. Nearly. Right, that should now, please. Don't force it. And there we go. Right, throw that away. Right, now this is what I was talking about with these U.FL connectors. As you can see there, right, it's connected to the flight control. I keep saying bleeding flight control board. It's connected to the VTX. Right, but really holding it in place is that black guck, which is like a hot glue. Now what you need to do is remove it. Now, to be quite honest, right, that's why I use the hemostats. Right, if you get a hold of the connector on the end and give it a wiggle, it will, there you go, pull straight off. Don't throw that away, there's no wrong with that, you know what I mean? Right, if you decide to switch back over again, I mean, you might only have one of these and you might ruin it, destroy it, and you want to put your other stuff on. So if you've got that, you can just do this process in reverse. Right, so we've took that off, and I'll put that to one side. As I said, don't throw it away. Now, if you can clean up a bit of this guck to get, actually that's quite a neat little opening there, so the new antenna may just fit straight on if we're lucky. You may have to clean up some of that guck. Now when you put, now this is the bit I'm not going to be able to zoom in on. I'll put that down and just point. Where you've just removed your coax, in there's like a hole, and there's a tiny little pin coming up. And inside your antenna, there's a tiny little hole for the pin to go in. You do not want to bend that pin over. You bend that pin over, you're in a world of pain. You squash that down by putting your antenna on an angle, you're in a world of pain. You will never straighten it. You might as well just throw the thing in the bin. Now there'll be people saying, oh, it happened to me and I managed to straighten it. Well, you're bloody lucky. I may not have to remove this actually. I'm just seeing about getting some of this guck off, because I'll be putting fresh guck on, so to speak. But to tell you the truth, when you're doing this, make sure you don't catch the board and stuff. That looks like it came off and left that hole pretty damn neat actually. So I'm just gonna see if I can, I hope that's in shot for you, but just see if I can actually get that in one go without having to. You'll hear it because it will sort of like click or depress, whichever way you look at it. I can't really do it that way. I'll just it's one of them feel it jobs. No. The thing is, I want it this way anyhow. Yeah, there's a quick tip for you. When you're putting it back on again, put it on that way, and then you can put like a cable tie around to hold the antenna in place, if you know what I mean, so that if you do have a bump, it's not going to knock the antenna off. So I want it that way anyhow. It is a fiddly job. I may cut, because trying to do this on camera, I'm trying to keep my head out the road, when really I want to bring my head right in so I can see what I'm bleeding doing. No. Right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to cut, and I need to get my head in here, and you know what I mean, and I can't do it while I'm sat right back. So I'm just going to cut here. Well, I'll cut and come back. There you go, pilots, I'm back again. The problem was some of that rubber, that black hot glue stuff. It was in the road. Just peel it off gently, and then your new antenna will just plug straight in. Like I say, if you run it that way, right, you can put a zip tie around to help hold it in place or whatever. But yeah, like I say, this is really just for beginners who might get some type of, because these are the only VTXs that use these U.FL connectors, but who might want to upgrade to a better antenna and have it connected straight to the VTX, which cuts down the amount of travel the signal has to do to get the image. You know what I mean. Okay then, pilots, I'll try zooming in a little bit more so you can get a better view. I honestly don't know if my camera will focus in on that though. I don't know if it's going to focus in on that. I won't know until I watch the video back, so I'll simply say I hope so. There's the old one we've taken off, and there's the difference. There's the one with the MMCX connector. This one there, that's your MMCX, which, as you see, it's like a plug. This is the U.FL, which is, yeah, it's still a plug, but it's just a pin that sits there. I mean, you cannot just leave it like that. You must secure it to your VTX, right? Or simply it'll just come straight out. If I pick up that VTX now and wobble it, it'll just fall off. Right, so all I'm going to do is put a bit of hot glue, and that's it. Put it in the model. There you go. Right then, I know it wasn't too detailed, and I had a couple of little problems, but like I said, I just wanted to do this for new pilots who just wasn't sure. Okay then, thanks for watching. If you like, subscribe. If you liked the video, leave thumbs up. If you hated the video, leave thumbs down and tell me why. Okay then, thanks for watching, and cheers.